Hey students, welcome to lesson 2. Before we move on with our direct instruction, I wanted to give you an example of the digital notes that I'm looking for. As I was grading your work from last Wednesday and Thursday when I assigned the documentary as the intro to astronomy, I noticed a lot of sparsely filled columns or incomplete columns. So I wanted to show you an example of what I'm expecting. These science notes are a way for you to keep track of notes, big ideas, details, and evidence as they relate to certain concepts. And today for lesson 2, we're really starting to dig deep into stars. Okay, so when you're watching your 3 videos today, you're going to be pausing the video when there are some notes that need to be recorded, or there's some details or evidence that you feel that is necessary to add to this input column. But let me show you an example of something that I'm really expecting. This student didn't just stop at 1 or 2 jot dots that she thought were interesting. She went through every big idea that came throughout that video and she recorded it right here in this input column. But the student didn't just stop there. Part of learning is you have to display your thinking some way, somehow. And we're going to do that in an output column. This is your thinking. And in this column, you might include questions, connections, or even visuals as they relate to this input column. Again, notice all the jot dots. Notice the questions. Notice the connections. But it doesn't stop there. When you write a summary, it is a synthesis. It's the molding, it's the meshing, it's the mixing and connecting of all of those notes into one organized paragraph. You guys saw these symbols yesterday when you were writing the short constructed responses about star constellations. I'm looking for what is the big idea to each of these videos. What details or direct evidence can you include that supports our big idea? But you can't stop there. You need to include an analysis. You need to explain what that evidence means, or you need to be including unanswered questions, things that you still wonder, that you're curious about, that were left unsaid throughout the videos. So again, get a visual of my expectation for these digital notes. Second thing I want you to notice, I just spent some time, and over here on the left-hand side, I've added different headings. This way, as we add more notes throughout this unit, you don't have to scroll and continue to look for the notes that you previously took. So what I did on every one of your direct instructions is I added a new heading titled 1117. That's today. So as you guys watch these videos, you're going to be collecting notes, big ideas, details, and evidence about the 3 videos that I posted. Please make sure that you're adding those jot dots in the input column. For every input note that you're taking, it is an expectation for you to display your thinking some way. You might add in the output column a question that you have about the note that you just took. You might have some connections. Maybe you've learned about this before. Maybe you've read an article or you watched a video as it relates to your notes. Or in this input column, you might include a visual, some sort of visual representation that explains the notes that you took. And just like we did before, where you are summarizing the video, the same thing is happening here. You are summarizing and you are synthesizing all of your input notes right down here in your summary. Okay, I call it a T paragraph for what is the topic of what you watched. What evidence did you collect that supports that topic, and how can you analyze or explain all of that evidence as it relates back to the big idea? So when you are watching the videos today in your independent practice, you are filling out this chart, and please make sure that you are filling it out under the appropriate date, which is today, November 17th, 2020. If you have any questions about the expectations for how we're going to take notes throughout the rest of distance learning, please make sure you make a comment and reach out if something is confusing. Thank you very much. Miss ya.